Welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining us. My name is Joe McGinnis. I'm the Commissioner of the Indiana Department of Transportation. As you can see behind me, this was taken from a few months ago, but this is down on Section 6 of I-69 down in Morgan County. Another one of our projects we're extremely proud of that's really ramping up, and with all of Mother Nature and all of the support from NDOT and our contract partners will be completed by the end of 2024. We're super excited for that. We're here this morning to announce our second round of Community Crossings grants for 2020. It's a pleasure to join leadership from Accelerated Indiana Municipalities, Association of Indiana Counties, also on this call. Thank you to AIM, AIC for your support and advocacy for local communities. I also know that ACEC, BIC, and ICI are also represented on this call as well. And thank you for your continued support and partnership with NDOT and our local partners. I know we have dozens of mayors, county commissioners, and other local partners listening on this call this morning as well. Welcome and thank you for being part of this. To all of you, thanks for your patience as we worked through the logistics of community crossings during the COVID-19 pandemic. We know the hard work that goes into developing these applications and the importance of delivering these projects in your communities. Our team has been working diligently in these last few weeks to evaluate applications and get us to this point where we can announce the awards this morning. Community Crossings, as you know, is a matching grant program that provides state funding to support high priority local road projects. This program began in 2016 and long-term was identified by our legislative partners a year later, and this tremendously popular program is about to enter its 5th year. Coming from local government, I recognize how important locally maintained roads and bridges are to the vitality and economic prosperity of all of our communities. In many cases, these local roads are the first mile and or the last mile of the transportation network that makes us proud to call Indiana the crossroads of America. During my time as commissioner, I've emphasized that taking care of local roads, Main Street, and the heart of our cities and towns is just as critical as taking care of our interstates and major highways. Through Community Crossings, we've delivered on our historic commitment to local roads to the tune of more than $800 million in the last 4 years alone. We rescheduled this call for projects from July to September to ensure we would sustain that momentum amidst the pandemic and provide funding support for as many projects as we possibly could. In spite of a challenging year, I'm thankful we're able to award grants that will keep asphalt and concrete being poured, support local jobs, and enhance our communities. I'm also thankful we'll be in good position to announce the next call for community crossing grants during the first quarter of next year, so stay tuned for that. We have great news yet to share regarding this call for projects, though, and for that, I want to introduce someone with whom I'm normally out on the road passing out big foam checks and acting like Santa Claus this time of year during these announcements. It's our 51st governor of the great state of Indiana, Eric Holcomb.
Well, thank you, Joe, and please pass on. You'll see him before I do. Your dedicated and I'll describe him as aggressive in a very positive way team there at NDOT and helping us get to this point. You mentioned 800 million. I remember a conversation we had not too long ago. We were looking at around 738 million, and it's kind of ticked up, and that just speaks volumes about the condition of our state. And you're right. I mean, there's nothing better than being out on the road and traveling the state of Indiana to the smallest of our towns, to the biggest of our cities. Maybe the only thing better is being Santa or Ed McMahon. I always thought you were channeling Ed McMahon, not Santa Claus. But I'm so grateful that we are, through the modern marvels of technology, we're still able to get together, and we're not going to skip a beat, and we're going to make sure that the show goes on, and our road network and bridges, those improvements, maintaining them and building new, designing and building new, continues. And as Joe alluded to, just could not be more excited that we're at the place we are right now. And that, again, is in part due to your and our collective strong fiscal foundation that we've laid, and the long-term funding that was provided, as Joe said, by the yours and our General Assembly to give us a long-term plan that we could implement year after year after year after year. And so we find ourselves today awarding $101 million in community crossings funding to 241 different cities, towns, counties, in obviously every corner of our state, to improve those roads and improve those bridges and connect your communities to one another, making those commutes far and near safer and swifter. In fact, and this shouldn't be lost, every single Indiana city, town, and county that applied for community crossings funding for this round is receiving funding for what you determined were your high priority road projects. And so the reason, and that's the key is, and why this program is, as Joe said, uber popular, but also effective and responsive and works, because it is a collaboration. It is a state and local partnership working hand in glove with one another to make sure that we're leveraging and capitalizing on our location, being at the crossroads of America. And we're never going to lose sight of that fact that our location and having a high quality infrastructure program to go along with every single which way that we connect is key to continuing to attract talent and business to your communities and to Indiana in general. I also wanted to just recognize, and I'll lateral the microphone over to two gentlemen here. First and foremost, and Joe, you mentioned AIM and AIC, and they have been critically important, as have others, but they were critically important into making sure that we did in 2017, we were able to follow up on community crossings and expand it and make sure it lived on in 2017. And that's David Bodorf and Matt Greller. And so David, if you're on and able, I'll lateral the microphone to you if you have some comments to share about our big news to this morning.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate the invitation. And as you had mentioned, this has been a very popular program with counties, and it is a great partnership. And we just really thank the General Assembly and your leadership for getting us this dedicated revenue source. And what's so great about this program, I think, is that it creates jobs immediately in the construction industry, and we purchase aggregate to do the work. But we know in the long term, it's really improving the quality of life and the quality of place, which helps in the long-term economic development prospects for the state. So we really appreciate, again, your leadership and working with Commissioner McGinnis and the General Assembly to get this program implemented. And the user fee that we're using is perfect for this. So we're just very excited about the program and appreciate the fact the state can continue to offer the grants in this times of uncertainty. Knowing that this program is going to continue is a huge relief for counties. So thank you.
Thank you, David. Matt, with AIM, are you on and able to take the mic?
I am, Governor. Thank you very much for including us, as always. Very much appreciated. I think David said a lot. Appreciate you also hiring a former municipal official to run the Department of Transportation. That has proven to be very, very good decision over the last few years. I think David said a lot about what I wanted to say, but one thing I think is critically important, when the legislature envisioned this program and you envisioned this program, a lot of momentum was created. We're all focused, rightfully so, on the pandemic right now, but our roads, our streets, our bridges have no idea that there's a worldwide pandemic happening right now. So you and the commissioner and everybody being willing to make sure this program continues during these times is critically important to sustain the momentum we've built over the last few years. And we could not be more appreciative of that and the work that you all are doing. So thanks again for including us. Look forward to continuing to be a partner in this program.
Thank you, Matt, for your longtime leadership on this front and on a lot of other fronts as well. And you point out the commissioner's background, and I'll just say my mother didn't raise a fool. We've got Blair Milo, former mayor of LaPorte, and you just saw Lieutenant Governor Crouch just hired Denny Spinner from Huntingburg to run Okra, another community-minded, obviously, very important organization. And so absolutely, we are tethered to local government, and appreciate that that partnership so much. And again, I'll close by saying, and Joe, if you want to have any comments as well, because I got a question for you, Joe, that might be on the minds of folks who are joining us. But I do want to thank everyone for your leadership there on the ground locally, not just navigating through COVID, but as Matt and David just pointed to, and I always say the show must go on. We got to continue to chin up and design and build long term, and this program is the very definition of that. Joe, I thought maybe before we signed off, you might talk about just the timeline. We're announcing this right now. We're going to be sending a press release out to, every media outlet in the state of Indiana, but just so they have a understanding of the timeline, could you just spend 30 seconds addressing that, and then we'll sign off?
Sure. Yeah. So as you mentioned, there'll be a press release going out momentarily, which will outline all of the recipients of the awards today. And congratulations to all of you that are getting an award. As always, our folks will continue to work with you. Kathy Eaton McCallum, who does an amazing job with our LPA program, and her folks will continue to work with you at the local level to ensure that your projects are all successful. We're going to give you some extended period of time here, so because this is a challenging time, we understand that, and this is a matching grant program, but our folks will work with you, and then hopefully first quarter of 2021 we'll be able to launch another round of grant applications.
2021 is going to be a great year. You heard it here. Thank you all very much for your leadership. Look forward to seeing you in person as soon as possible.